Welcome back, everybody. Today is November 16th, 2024, and we're going to be diving into a film that I absolutely love.
Ooh,
Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather Part II.
yes.
It's
A classic.
it's considered by many to be one of the greatest sequels of all time.
Absolutely.
And it really expands upon and elevates the original film in ways that I find just incredible.
What I think is so fascinating about this film is how it manages to weave together those two stories. You
Right.
have the story of young Vito Corleone and his rise to power
Yeah.
in early 20th century New York, and then you cut to Michael's reign as Don decades later.
Yeah, and it's such a fascinating juxtaposition, right?
Yes.
You've got these parallel storylines,
Yeah.
but they're so expertly interwoven. How does Coppola even pull that off?
Well, for one, I think it provides us with a really unique perspective on Michael's choices.
Okay.
Because by seeing Vito's journey and the decisions he makes and the compromises he makes,
Uh-huh.
we gain a deeper understanding of the pressures and expectations that Michael inherits as the new Don.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, they both face very similar challenges, right? Like consolidating their power,
Yes.
dealing with betrayals, and making those impossible choices.
Absolutely.
But their approaches are so different.
Yeah.
I mean, Vito is building his empire in this almost romanticized New York,
Right.
while Michael's world is so cold and ruthless and isolating.
And you see that reflected so brilliantly in the visuals of the film as well.
Yeah.
You know, Vito's story has these warm, almost sepia tones
Yeah.
that evoke a sense of community,
Yeah.
almost a twisted kind of innocence.
Right.
Whereas Michael's world is all sharp edges
Yeah.
and sterile modernity.
Stark.
Yeah, and it reflects his own emotional detachment.
Absolutely. And I think the film does such a brilliant job with its visual storytelling.
Yes.
I mean, like that scene where young Vito hides the guns for Clemenza.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like a small act, but it's so symbolic.
It's a foreshadowing of the ruthlessness that will become Vito's trademark later on. He's taking care of his people, building loyalty, but he's also stepping over a line that he can't come back from.
Yeah.
And that stolen rug, they go on to steal that rug. It's not just a rug, it's a symbol of him claiming his power and setting the stage for everything that comes after.
Oh, I love that. And it's so interesting how those small moments in Vito's life contrast with Michael's.
Right.
I mean, Michael is operating on a global scale, right?
It is.
He's dealing with senators, casinos, revolutionaries in Cuba.
Yeah, the stakes are so much higher for Michael.
Yeah, absolutely. And the consequences are so much more devastating.
Exactly. It's as if each generation of the Corleone family kind of escalates the violence,
Right.
pushing the boundaries of what they're willing to do for power.
It's like this vicious cycle they can't escape from.
Absolutely.
But it's not just the scope that's different, it's their personalities as well.
Yes, definitely.
Vito, he's this imposing figure.
Of course.
But there's also this warmth to him, a love for his family that you can really feel. Michael, on the other hand?
Michael's a much more internal, conflicted character.
Yeah.
And I think Pacino's performance is just mesmerizing.
Oh, yeah.
You can see the weight of his decisions, the toll that leadership takes on him, and, he loves his family,
Yeah.
but he pushes them away, isolates himself, all in the name of protecting them.
And speaking of isolation, that ending
Oh, man.
with Michael sitting alone, that closed door between him and Kay,
Ugh, it's heartbreaking.
it's just devastating.
Yeah.
And it's such a stark contrast to Vito's ending in the first film,
Yes.
dying peacefully surrounded by his family.
It really drives home this idea that Michael, despite achieving everything his father built, ultimately fails to escape the darkness of his legacy. He achieves the American dream, but at the cost of his soul.
It's a powerful message.
And that's what makes Coppola such a great director.
Yeah.
He uses these visual cues to tell us so much about the characters, like their inner lives and what they're going through.
Totally. It's not just about having these beautiful shots.
Yeah.
It's about using those shots to convey meaning, to draw us deeper into the story.
Exactly.
Like that recurring motif of doors closing, symbolizing how Michael shuts people out.
Yeah. Yeah, and how he builds up these walls around himself.
Exactly. And the way that Coppola contrasts the vibrancy of Vito's world
Yes.
with that cold, almost sterile atmosphere of Michael's surroundings.
It's like a visual metaphor for the soul being lost in the pursuit of power.
It really is. And another thing that strikes me about part two
Yeah.
is how it delves into this psychology of betrayal.
Uh-huh.
Vito's vendetta against Don Ciccio,
Right.
the man who murdered his family,
Yeah.
is fueled by this, primal rage.
Oh, yeah.
It's this need for vengeance.
But it's a focused rage.
Yeah.
It's almost like righteous anger.
Yeah.
He eliminates the threat, and then he
Ah.
builds a life for himself and his family.
Michael's betrayal by Fredo, his own brother,
It's different.
it just shatters him.
It does.
It's this fundamental violation of trust
Right.
that sends him down this even darker path.
And it speaks to that cyclical nature of violence in the film.
Yeah.
Vito had to commit violence to protect his family.
Right.
And in a way that violence comes back to haunt Michael.
It's like the sins of the father being visited upon the son,
Yes.
but on this even grander, more tragic scale.
Definitely. Do you think Michael had any other options?
That's a good question.
Could he have broken free from that cycle?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's so brilliant about this film.
Yeah.
It doesn't offer easy answers.
No, it doesn't.
It makes you confront the complexities of these characters and their choices.
Absolutely.
I mean, Michael's clearly a brilliant man.
Oh, yeah.
He's capable of love and loyalty,
Mm,
but he's also consumed by ambition
right.
and this need to control everything and everyone around him.
And that need for control is ultimately what isolates him.
Yeah,
He loses Kay, he loses his brother, he loses himself.
he does.
It's a cautionary tale about the allure of power and the price you pay for it.
And the performances are just phenomenal.
Oh, they're incredible.
De Niro as young Vito,
Yes.
capturing that quiet intensity, that simmering rage beneath the surface.
Amazing.
And Pacino as Michael with those haunted eyes.
Oh, yeah.
That sense of inner turmoil.
You can just feel it.
Yeah.
It's interesting you mentioned the eyes because the film uses a lot of close-ups
Yeah.
to really draw us into the characters' emotional states.
Right.
We see the world through their eyes.
Yeah.
We experience their joys and their sorrows,
Yeah.
their triumphs and their downfalls.
It's like we're right there with them,
You are.
experiencing the weight of their decisions.
You feel the burden of leadership, the isolation that comes with power.
Yeah. And speaking of leadership,
Yeah.
one thing we haven't touched upon is that historical context.
Right.
The film is set during a time of great change in America,
Oh, absolutely.
with the rise of organized crime,
Yeah.
the Cold War,
Outside.
the shifting landscape of the American dream.
And that context really adds another layer to the story, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, Vito's rise is almost a reflection of the immigrant experience.
Right.
That struggle for a better life.
Yeah.
Even if it means resorting to less than legal means.
Well, Michael represents a different side of that ambition.
Right.
The pursuit of legitimacy.
Yeah.
But at what cost?
Right.
He tries to move the family beyond its criminal roots,
Yeah.
but he ends up perpetuating that cycle of violence
Yeah.
in new and even more devastating ways.
It's like the film is saying that the American dream, for all its promise,
Yeah.
can also be a trap.
A seductive illusion
Right.
that can lead to corruption and ruin.
Absolutely. And it's a message that resonates even more strongly today.
I think so.
In a world where the pursuit of power and wealth
Yeah.
often comes at the expense of human connection and moral integrity.
It's a film that stays with you.
It does.
Makes you think about the choices we make, the compromises we're willing to accept,
Yeah.
and the legacy we leave behind.
And it does all this while being a visually stunning,
Oh, yeah.
emotionally gripping cinematic experience.
Absolutely.
The cinematography, the music, the performances,
Every.
it all comes together to create this unforgettable masterpiece.
It really, one scene that always sticks with me
Yeah.
is that final montage
Uh-huh.
with the assassinations intercut with Vito's rise in Sicily
Oh, yeah.
and the family gathering for his birthday.
It's so powerful.
It's like Coppola is showing us the full arc of the Corleone family.
Right.
The rise and the fall, the beauty and the brutality.
It's like this juxtaposition of their destiny.
It is highlighting that cyclical nature of their story,
Yeah.
the inevitability of their fate.
Like no matter what they do,
Yeah,
they can't escape the darkness that consumes them.
that's right.
And that final shot of Michael sitting alone by the lake,
Oh, yeah.
his face etched with regret and sorrow,
Haunting.
it's just haunting.
He's achieved everything he ever wanted,
Mm-hmm.
but he's lost everything that truly mattered.
It's a chilling reminder that power, for all its allure,
Yes,
can be a hollow victory,
it can.
leaving you empty and alone.
Yeah, and it's a film that's had such an impact on cinema.
Oh, absolutely.
So many films have tried to capture that same feeling,
Yeah.
like that operatic scope,
Mhm.
the complex characters, the exploration of power and corruption.
It's almost a genre unto itself now,
Yeah.
but The Godfather Part II it still stands apart.
It does.
I mean, it really set the bar so high.
It did, and one of the reasons for that, I think, is the incredible attention to detail.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is so meticulously crafted, from the costumes to the set design to the music.
Right.
It's all there to create this very specific mood and atmosphere.
Nino Rota's score is just so haunting.
It is.
It's evocative, especially that main theme.
Yeah.
Speak softly, love.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It perfectly captures that blend of romance and tragedy and violence.
Yeah. It really does. It's a score that just gets under your skin.
It does.
And it stays with you long after the film is over.
And the way Coppola uses it
yeah.
to underscore key moments to heighten the emotional impact.
Oh, it's masterful.
It really is. And the cinematography, too.
Yes.
The use of light and shadow to create these really striking images.
Yeah, like that scene where Michael's sitting in the dark.
Oh, yeah.
And his face is half illuminated by that single lamp as he's making the decision to have Fredo killed.
It's chilling.
It's just a visual representation of that darkness that has consumed him.
Right.
The point of no return.
And the way that Coppola uses those deep shadows throughout the film to symbolize the moral ambiguity of the character's choices.
It's subtle, but it's so effective.
It's like the film itself is this shadowy world full of secrets and betrayals where nothing is quite what it seems.
And that ambiguity even extends to the characters themselves.
Right. Are there any truly good characters in The Godfather Part II?
It's a tough question.
I
mean, Vito, for all his flaws, he had a certain code of honor. He had this loyalty to his family and his community. But even he was capable of great violence.
Oh, yeah, when crossed.
Absolutely. And Michael, as ruthless as he becomes, he still loves his family.
Yeah.
Even if he has a very twisted way of showing it.
Right.
He's a tragic figure.
He is.
A man who is both brilliant and deeply flawed.
A cautionary tale.
Absolutely, about the corrupting influence of power.
Yeah.
Even those with the best intentions can be seduced by the dark side.
We could talk about The Godfather Part II for hours.
Oh, I know.
And we still wouldn't cover everything.
It's true.
It's a film that just keeps on giving.
It does.
With new insights and interpretations every time you watch it.
That's why it's considered one of the greatest films ever made.
It is.
It's a timeless classic.
Yeah.
A story that continues to resonate with audiences today.
So if you haven't seen The Godfather Part II, I urge you to check it out.
You won't regret it.
You're in for a real cinematic experience.
And if you have seen it, watch it again.
You'll definitely discover something new.
You always do.
Well, on that note, we'll wrap up our deep dive into The Godfather Part II.
That's been a pleasure.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more great movie reviews.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.